Now that spring is officially here, it's time that we take time for ourselves to realign. So let's get started. Hello, welcome to our 13th practice in our year-long intentions instead of resolutions yoga. And today's intention is to realign. Now, that can have many meanings, but if you can try to focus on realigning your body with your spirit, I think that you might find that this practice will be very satisfactory. So what we're going to start with is Ujjayi breath, also known as ocean breath. Now, this happens from having a constriction in the back of your throat. So it creates kind of a wave sound. That's why they refer to it as ocean breath. Now, the way to practice doing this is to take a deep breath in and breathe out with an audible ha. So let's try that. We're going to breathe in and ha. Now that's with our mouth open. Now we're going to try to recreate the same sound, but with our mouth closed. And try to constrict the back of your throat as you do it. So we're going to take a deep breath in and breathe out. Mine almost sounded like a growl. So it might be between an ocean sound and a growl. So we're going to do this 4 times. And you can close your eyes while you do it, or you can just focus on something out in front of you. So we're going to fill your abdomen when we take our breath in. So breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Take your time emptying your lungs. Breathe in and out. Last time, deep breath in, fill that abdomen, and breathe out. So that gives you a different feeling than just taking regular deep breaths in. And it's really a good way to get yourself energized. So now we're going to move to all fours. And we're going to go into a cat-cow. So make sure that you have your hands right under your shoulders, your knees right underneath your hip points. And we're going to breathe in as we drop our belly to cow. And breathe out as you arch your back and go into cat. Breathe in to cow. And out to cat. Breathe in to cow. And out to cat. Now we're going to move our hands forward just a tiny bit and step back with our feet so that we are in plank position. Now in plank, you're going to engage your abdomen right away. But you also want to feel like you're pushing away from your mat. And that creates a little bit of a dome in your upper back. And then we're going to lower slowly to our abdomen. And then pulling our hands in line with our shoulders, we're going to take a deep breath in as we rise up to cobra. And breathe out as we lower back down. Now you can choose to have your hands by your rib cage and just do a baby cobra. But today we want to try to find as much length in our spine as we can. So breathing in as we rise up, try to straighten those arms and lower as you breathe out. If you're doing the full cobra, breathe in and rise up, or do a baby cobra. And then one last time, breathe in and all the way up to cobra. And then we're going to lower and take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to go back up to that plank. So breathe out. And we're going to hold for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up to down dog. Now, once we're in down dog, we're going to step back and forth, and then we're going to raise our left leg first. So really root into that right heel and try to keep your hips square. Then we're going to bend that knee, bring it in to our chest, and then step up to a low lunge. Now, once we're here, we're going to shift that right foot to where the toes are pointing out at an angle to the opposite corner of your room. And we're going to cartwheel up and around. Lost my balance. No worries if you fall when you're practicing yoga, because it is a practice. Then we're going to rest our elbow on our knee, and we're going to go into extended side angle. So we're going to reach up with our hands over our head. So if you do a circle like this, you'll get more range of motion in your shoulder. And then holding your core engaged. So suck that navel to your spine. We can lower our fingertips to where they're hovering just above the mat. Then we're going to release that, go back to our low lunge. So you might have to shift that right foot back. We're going to place our right hand on the mat and rise our left hand up to the sky. So we're going into a twist. And then lowering that hand to the mat and stepping up with that right foot. Now we want to have our feet flush together. So you want to have just a teeny bit of space between your arches, but your big toes and your ankles should be flush together. And we're going to hang out in a forward fold for just a second or two, taking a deep breath in and out. Then we're going to take a breath in as we rise up halfway, looking forward, and lower as we breathe out. Then breathe in as we sweep our arms up and overhead, and then bring them down to our chest in prayer position. Now we're going to do that sequence again. So we're going to put our hands on the mat, step back to plank. We're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then raise your hips up to the sky as if your tailbone is guiding your hips up in the air. And we're going to step out once again. And this time we're going to raise our right leg. Keep your hips as square as you can. Bend that knee, bring it into your chest, and step up into our low lunge. Then we're going to shift that right foot to where it's pointing in the opposite corner and cartwheeling our hands up and over to a warrior two. Then resting that right elbow on top of your right thigh, doing a circle with your arm. Then we can take 2 circles for a range of motion. And then if you feel like you've got good balance, suck your navel to your spine for support and let your fingers hover above the mat. Then we're going to release that, go back to a low lunge. You may want to readjust your left foot. Then we're going to place that left hand on the mat, raise our right arm to the sky for our twist, and then lower it. Step up to the front with that left foot, feet close together, and we're going to rise up halfway and back down. And then with a deep breath, we're going to sweep our arms up and over our head and bring our hands down to our chest in prayer position. Now, what we're going to do is move to the middle of the mat. And we're going to go into a wide-legged forward fold. So the best way to approach this is to start with your feet a little bit more than shoulder width apart. And then hinge at your hips to get used to bending over when your legs are spread out. And if this is about as far as you think you can get your feet apart, then you would just continue on down from here. But what we want to try to do is go out even farther. You want to have your feet as wide as you possibly can have them. We're going to hinge at our hips to keep our back nice and straight. And we're going to lower halfway, squeezing our shoulder blades to the center line. And then lowering all the way down. Now you can have your hands on the mat. You want to bring them to where they're in line with your arches. And if you can, you might want to try to reach your crown, the crown of your head to your mat. And if you can spread your legs a little bit farther, you might even find that you get your head to the mat. Then we're going to place our left hand in the center of the mat. And as if you're pulling back a bow, you're going to reach up with your right hand. So we're doing a wide-legged forward fold twist. And then replace the left hand with your right and do the same thing as if you're pulling back a bow. Raise your left hand to the sky. Then we're going to lower our left hand and then heel toe, our feet back to the center of our mat to where they're hip width apart. We're going to rise up halfway and lower and sweeping our arms up and overhead and bringing them down to prayer position. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a flexion of our hips. So that's why I wanted you to bring your feet hip width apart. But this is a little bit of a side bend. So it's combining a side stretch along with a bend. So we're going to get some flexion in our spine and our hips. So you want to reach up as you breathe in and then over as you breathe out. And the left hand is just falling down to your knee. And we're going to hold this and breathe in and out. You might want to try that Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. Then we're going to rise back up and lower our right hand and do the same thing on the left side. So we're going to reach up as we breathe in and over as we breathe out. And your fingers should be right at your knee. So breathing in and out. Ujjayi breath. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And then coming back to center. So that is how we're going to end our practice today. Now you might have a few extra minutes where you can just stop the video and lay down in Shavasana for a few minutes. But I do hope that you are enjoying having yoga as part of your life. And my goal is to make sure that yoga becomes everyone's daily part of life. So look for some of my other yoga videos. I have a playlist of yoga for health. I have a playlist for Beat the Heat yoga practice, or it was a challenge, 30-day challenge that we did last summer. And also the other weekly videos that I've done in this intentions instead of resolutions yoga. So I do hope that you have enough material and that you're willing to try to give it a try doing it daily. And I will see you again next week. I will be on a plane this afternoon, but I'm making sure that this video is ready and the one for next week. And then I'll have some material for my vacation coming up. So I'll see you again next week. Bye.